Hey guys, and welcome to this episode of East Horror Lounge. I know it might be kind of weird because the theme hasn't came on yet, and trust like it will. I just want to put this out here that I just want to put out a quick disclaimer about this episode. We are talking about disturbing accounts of real actions carried out by John Wayne Gacy, and this is when this we talk about all the terrible things he has done, and again, these are real accounts of what have happened, so it can get very disturbing. And I just want to quickly say, if you guys are squeamish or if you guys are uncomfortable listening to something like this, please click off now. And yeah, back to the episode. Thank you guys for listening. Yeah, it's been an interesting week. For me, this week I've gone back to school, and I'm starting to understand why I hate school so much again. I know for some people they went to school, like they started going back to school like a week ago, but for me it was like this week, and honestly, it hasn't been the worst it's been. There has been some crazy stuff going on, but there's nothing to really stress over that much. Hopefully throughout the school year I can still get these out in a consistent rate. I'm going to try my hardest to, but then again, if I don't, at least you guys know why, if you guys are listening to this one. But yeah, throughout the school year, don't expect me to slow down. Just know that if I do, the reason is school. If I stop soon, it is not because I'm quitting East Horror Lounges, simply because I have rather ran out of time to be doing something, or the time that I have spent doing school, it has kind of cut into, doing these podcasts, but, hopefully, I don't slow down with these podcasts. I know that there's going to be some people from my school actually listening to these podcasts now, so I am going to get a relatively, bigger fan base, or maybe, it just gives them a reason to not like me. I don't know. It all depends on who I show this to. Hopefully it's all good people. I don't want any rude people listening to my podcast. But yeah, hopefully you guys are having a good week. I'm having a decent week. And hopefully if you guys are having a bad week, I can possibly, brighten up your week. Maybe if you guys are having a bad day, I can brighten up your day. Hopefully if you guys are studying or something, you guys put me on, have my voice soothe you for the 15 minutes that I'm on. Yeah, I think I should probably just get into this before I run out of time. Or before I constrict myself with how little time I have. As you guys could probably tell, we're gonna be talking about some darker stuff than I've been talking about. Last week I talked about the Fresno Nightcrawlers, and this week I'm gonna be talking about John Wayne Gacy. And like you guys can probably tell from the little disclaimer I put, the video that, not the video, podcast. I keep on mixing that up. I really need to get used to saying podcast. As you guys could probably tell from the disclaimer, this is going to be a darker episode. So if you guys are going to be, if you guys are a little bit squeamish or not, hopefully you guys aren't, but if you guys are, please click off of this video, because I'm not going to go into so much detail that's gets hella disturbing, but you can't talk about John Wayne Gacy without it becoming disturbing, just because of how terrible of a person he was. And I also want to keep this as educational as I can, which is really weird to think about, that this is actually an educational show. I don't even think of it as that much of an educational show, but technically it is. So I'm going to try to keep this as, as detailed as possible to the point where it stays, enjoyable for you guys. So, anyways, I'm going to jump right into it. I'm going to stop rambling on and start talking about John Wayne Gacy. As you guys probably already know who John Wayne Gacy is. If you guys don't, John Wayne Gacy was born March 17th, 1942. And he was an American serial killer that was known for sexually assaulting and murdering the people that he captured. If you guys know even the slightest bit about John Wayne Gacy, you guys probably know the nickname of the Killer Clown. He kind of started the Killer Clown thing. He was the reason that a lot of people have phobias of killer clowns. And is because although he was a politician, he also had a side job of working as a birthday clown, of which he would lure teenage kids into his car, let them know where he is, and try to make plans with them, of which the kids would usually eventually end up getting sexually assaulted, tortured, and murdered. He's convicted of 33 counts of murder, 1 count of sodomy, 1 count of sexual assault, and 1 count of indecent liberties with a child. He had, from what people know, 33 victims. And he murdered, his span of murders started in January of 1972 all the way to December of 1978. So that was a full 6 years, almost 8 years. Almost 7 years. I'm bad at math, so I probably do need the school that I was talking about at the beginning of this episode. But anyways, throughout that time, he was very infamously known. And, he was soon killed by execution of injection, I believe. And, I believe he died in Illinois. Also, if you guys are annoyed that I say Illinois, you guys should also probably click off of this because I'm going to say it a lot. And I know a lot of you guys are probably saying that it's pronounced Illinois. I can't say it. It's just uncomfortable for me to say Illinois, so Illinois is the way I'm going to say it throughout this whole episode. If you guys don't like it, sorry. Please click off this video, just like the more squeamish people that are listening to this. But he was very infamously known for being a murderer, and very infamously known for being the first ever real killer clown. His clown persona was called Pogo, and I think he also had patches, but you usually hear it as Pogo since that's whenever he was murdering the most. So let me talk about the first murder that John Wayne Gacy ever first time he ever murdered someone. So it was January of 1972, I believe January 2nd, and he picked up a 16-year-old named Timothy, and Gacy helped McCoy, who was traveling to Omaha from, I believe, Michigan, on a sightseeing tour of Chicago. Again, like I said, his the place they stayed at for most of it was Illinois, and he took the guy back to his house, not the guy's house, but to Gacy's house, and because he just wanted a place to stay, and Gacy kind of opened up his arms, and he was like, at that time, it was his first murder. He didn't really seem that sketchy. Gacy says that what happened was McCoy was in his doorway holding a knife, and Gacy, whenever he woke up, he saw McCoy with a knife and decided to attack him because he thought McCoy was, trying to threaten him. Gacy, I believe he got stabbed in the arm, and then he decided to, he broke the kid's wrist and stabbed him several times in the chest, along with, just trying to fight for it. Just trying to fight for control and ultimately just trying to stay alive, as he says in, his account. I highly doubt that's the way it is. So, yeah, you can probably already tell from just that it's not going to be the nicest of episodes. Gacy stated in a police report after his first murder that he felt like mentally drained, but he also said that he said that murdering was an orgasmic feeling that he felt. And he said that this is a quote from Gacy. He said that that's when I realized that death was the ultimate thrill, after he murdered a 16-year-old who I believe was just trying to make breakfast. I believe there was some bacon on the table that he was trying to cut before Gacy, ultimately grabbed him and, wrestled him to the ground and murdered him. Another victim was this might be the second time, maybe. I'm not that sure. I think from the article that I got this from, it said second victim, but I might be wrong about that. The victim was supposedly just an unidentified teenage boy with brown hair, who they only knew he was a teenager. Gacy strangled the kid to death and stowed his body in the closet prior to burying him. Gacy stated that fluid leaked out of the kid's mouth and nose as he was stored in the closet that stained his carpet. Gacy realized that this was ultimately going to end up leading to his arrest, and decided to, from then on, stick cloth inside of his victim's mouth and nose in order to get them to stop, spilling stuff all over the floor. I'm starting to, I might make a part 2 of this just because I am starting to run out of time, and also just because I want to keep these on the shorter side of things. So, this one might actually be a little bit longer of one. I might actually bring this one on to 20 minutes, so I guess here you guys go. Here's a 20-minute long episode, because there's a lot of things that I still really want to talk about. But yeah, Gacy then started stuffing, rags and stuff inside of their mouth